Let's speak live to Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, who's chairman of the Pakistan People's Party and former foreign minister of Pakistan. And thank you so much for being here with us on BBC News. When Pakistan's Prime Minister says the ceasefire does include Lebanon, he said that very clearly in announcing this ceasefire on a post on X, and yet the US and Israel says it doesn't. Does that tell you that the chances of success over the weekend are very, very, very slim?
Thank you so much for having me. I'd like to first start by thanking the leadership of the United States and Iran for accepting this ceasefire and invitation to come to Islamabad to have direct negotiations with one another that I hope at least will lead to a more lasting peace. You're absolutely right to note, of course, there'll be challenges. There have been challenges over the last 6 weeks of various attempts that were made to achieve this ceasefire, but we've gotten this far. We've gotten so far as the 10 points that the Prime Minister of Pakistan conveyed on behalf of Iran to the United States were then endorsed by the presidency as a good basis to begin these negotiations. Speaking from our own experiences in Pakistan and India went to war a year ago, and we also had a ceasefire. It did take a little bit to get every single aspect of that ceasefire implemented on the ground. I note there are many aspects, most aspects laid out as the outline for this ceasefire have been implemented. The bombing in Iran has stopped. The attacks across the Middle East has stopped. Of course, there are concerns vis-a-vis Lebanon for Iran and vis-a-vis the Strait of Hormuz for the United States. I'm optimistic there's those sorts of differences in perspective can be ironed out when they meet face-to-face.
Well, let me ask you exactly about that, because you talk about ironing out the 10-point plan that Iran has put forward. They have published that. That is supposed to be the basis of these negotiations. It includes things like the lifting of all primary sanctions, continued control of the Strait of Hormuz, US military withdrawal from the Middle East, an end to the attacks permanently, an acceptance of enrichment to its nuclear program. That's what Tehran have published. If that is the case, I mean, so much of that is politically impossible for Donald Trump. So how does Pakistan even attempt to bridge those gaps?
Well, I think it's important not just to note the points that have come out, that the fact that these points have been conveyed by Iran in Iranian language, but also that the United States president have said that these 10 points do form a good basis to start those negotiations. As far as Pakistan is concerned, Pakistan is providing a forum and a location for these two parties to have direct talks. I don't see the glass as half empty. I see it as half full. And I believe that not only Pakistan, but the international community by and large will benefit as a result of the resolution of this conflict.
Yes.
We've seen how these 6 weeks have been devastating, not only in the terms of the human cost of this war, but the economic cost. I mean, the economic devastation that we've seen just in this 6-week period have stretched everywhere from London to here in Pakistan.
Absolutely, and economies across the world are obviously hoping for some sort of progress and resolution. A quick question about Pakistan's role, even for the ceasefire. Just tell me the significance of that, because in his first term, Donald Trump accused Pakistan of giving Washington nothing but lies and deceit. It's quite a shift from that view from the White House to where we are now.
As far as a sort of a past statement of President Trump, I would view it in that vein as a past statement. The ground realities are now very different. I believe Pakistan has managed to change its perception internationally, geopolitically, and of course in the context of Washington. and I'm hopeful that we're able to build on those gains for the benefit of not just Pakistan, but the international community by and large, in the form of a meaningful peace between Iran and our neighbor Iran and the United States.
A final thought, because China was seen as really important in that process to get the ceasefire early in the week. How significant was those moves behind the scenes from Beijing? Because, of course, Islamabad and China have good relations, don't they?
I think Pakistan is lucky to enjoy a good, substantive neighborly relations with China, as well as maintain a long-standing and historic ties with the United States. Pakistan has historically been that bridge. We were the ones who helped in establishing the diplomatic relations between the United States and China well back in the Nixon era. And absolutely, it's right to note that during these negotiations, the foreign minister of Pakistan went to China, where they both jointly announced an endorsement of, I think, 5 points for this ceasefire as well. So I think it's valuable to take note of China's input in this entire process.
Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, thank you very much for joining us here on BBC News and those thoughts ahead of those crucial talks in Islamabad.